The GJ dropped an absolute banger. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's time to cover this because it explains many things about Frosty's army. I will be covering the original OST and later talk about the lyrical version of it. Shout out to the GJ and Aaron Prevails for making this, it's amazing. Let's go over the original video first, and explain what's going on. When we first see the OST, we see text on the bottom, which is this. Using the text that the GJ gave, I was able to use the letters to get a close combination of this. One of my friends told me about the text actually translating to Emperor Frosty's servant, which is weird. We used to think that this guy is probably more powerful than Frosty, but he is a servant, since it is in his own OST. The real lore is in the lyrics later on in the song. Listen. I will go over each line to explain what they could mean. Steel meets flesh in Northern Gloom may mean that the GDA meets the army in the North Pole, where we are steel because of our technology, and flesh is the army because they barely have any of it. To master Frosty we are bound means that V, who I will be calling from now on, is tied with Frosty, not literally, but spiritually in a way. Hear the drums. The winter's boom is a metaphor for where the winter is dreaded, where drums are signified as a dangerous noise, and we do actually hear drums that sound like winter booms. In Snow and Ice our fate is found brings in potential outcomes, where he could be talking about his fate winning the war and bringing back Frosty, or him losing and his fate is in the snow and ice, or it could mean something else. The frozen earth shall drink our cries shows the mourning the army has went through losing Frosty, making the GDA suffer for what they did to Frosty in tower battles. Fire and ice wage battles tune means the war between the GDA and Frosty's army are in motion, getting more drastic. In Frosty's name our honor lies an endless night beneath the moon, is where they endlessly devote their honor for Frosty, showing that Frosty is a being that is worshipped, kind of like the Calamity cult. This first section is about the devotion and the war and danger going on between the GDA and the army. The second section of the lyrics suggests something else, however. These lines show the cold winter taking place on Earth, going everywhere, making the whole world cold. Frosty is the reason why the winter is coming, where he makes everything around him cold and bitter. Breaking and shattering lakes because of the cold, and making the skies gray, meaning that heavy clouds cover the sky so the sun cannot try to melt the ice or get rid of winter. Do not forget we also have a second video from Aaron of the lyric version, and this brings in a lot more information. If you already didn't know, V is speaking the lyrics. And apparently, This boss is V, who is the servant of Frosty. The thing about him though throughout the entire song is that he worships Frosty. Not only does he describe how Frosty returns, but he also shows devotion. An example is this. I have now arisen to serve my master, Frosty. There's a lot of examples of this. While this didn't give a lot more detail, it did tell us that V worships Frosty a lot, but also keeps saying that Frosty is returning. The lyrics fit in very well with the music, and the proof is the lyrics say hear them coming, and you can hear the build-up to the music, sounding like either marching, or drums like earlier. I thank GJ and Aaron for making these bangers. But most importantly, him.